saw the place where the possible met the impossible and moved toward it. They walked for many an hour and many a day, until, finally, they crossed the edge of paradox.
Greetings humanity, and welcome once again to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he, him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, and most of this game does happen spontaneously. But things are now in motion. Let's go ahead and go around and say hi to the folks that we have here present today, and find out once again who they are and who they're playing, starting with Arras. Hello.
Hello, I'm Arras, or Anos Panthera. I am today playing Aroshka Ruzik, Aromatic Empath Acoste, who can do everything. Her pronouns are she, her, and my pronouns are she, they.
Awesome. And now let us head over to Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns, but my character, Mac the Husk, uses they, them pronouns. They are an established enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica who provides a vessel for spirits.
Excellent. And finally over to Danielle. Hello.
Hello, I'm Danielle. I use she, her pronouns, and so does my character, Vormera Vanas, aka Vor. And Vor is a connected ardent of the Order of Weavers who shepherds minds.
Excellent. And as a reminder, like we do with other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do with that is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain body horror, surreal imagery, spiders, snakes, and references to memory loss, death, and existential crises. And anytime you can type !ISCW in the chat to see that, and that is also on rotation, so that'll pop up regularly. And greetings to everyone who is here. And one other thing is to remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. So that being the case, I wrote a very brief synopsis of what happened last time. They made it into the blue. They got past a the one guarding the door, who is sort of a almost deific bacchanalian figure. They're now walking through a twisted old carnival ground inhabited by nightmares and being led by a wine spirit toward an amphitheater, serving as the lair of its enemy, a large brain-like creature who has captured Clellan, the proprietor of the Broken Mirror, the coffee house that they hang out in. And there is a large clown blocking the way. That is where we left off with these folks. And so that is where we are. The clown stands before you and has just basically issued his statement. It's like, you're going to have to go around because the Vermiculated Mind has decreed that that no one comes down this path, and they pay very well.
I think at the end of the last game, I ended by telling the clown that we're not very good at following directions.
Yes, that is true. The clown sort of shrugs and will say, I mean, neither am I really, except, when the pay is good.
Out of curiosity, how good is the pay?
You familiar with the Vermiculated Mind? Oh, I know you are. It's you, isn't it? And he's pointing to the wine spirit that you have been following, the Venacious. And like, you tell them about it? And just sort of give you, like, living essence. That's good stuff. I don't know if you ever tried it. But I mean, we kind of thrive on that around these parts. Yeah, nightmares and all.
We get it. Yeah. Say, boy, did you ever, in the grade, did you ever run into clowns at all?
Yeah, I guess occasionally, not frequently. Why do you ask, Mac?
Well, it's just that all of my encounters in the grade with them ended poorly. For the clowns, really.
Do we all three turn and look at the clown?
All right. So are you attempting to intimidate the clown?
Yeah. You see, Mac is going to just pause, and so I'm going to let you think about what you, how closely you want to follow your orders. I'm just going to draw this summoning circle here. Okay. And he's just going to start putting together a really a summoning circle that looks more extra than it has to be.
Extra swirls and stars.
Yeah, and from his plentiful pockets, he's just going to pull out a clown nose, like a big red clown nose. He's going to place it down, in the middle of the summoning circle, and then he's going to put that Ghostbusters sign, the no ghost sign, over it. Basically, he's just going to summon any entity that happens to obsessively hate clowns.
Oh, wow.
A clown buster, if you will.
Okay. Well, I need to draw a card now.
Oh boy.
Because this is
Mac
going to be
threateningly draws a circle.
Because that's excellent. We're about to fill up the path. Actually, and if you want, I think you can draw the card if you want. Let me make sure that
Oh
I.
yeah. That would
Yeah.
mean I would have to sign into roll 20.
Let me think. Actually, wait. Hold on. Okay, now you can draw the card if you want. I forget I locked it between games.
Log in here. Yeah, and Mac is just going to explain as he's going along. You see, we're in a time crunch, and I just don't simply have time to sort of finesse or convince you to do so out of your own kindness of your heart, I guess. So fear works. I mean, that's how Clowns of the Gray sort of operate. Back me up here, Vor. Isn't that right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Sounds legit.
The clown at this point is just curious. Is curious to see what it is you're summoning. You know, it's like, what?
Oh, do I have to show it? Huh?
Oh yeah, it's in your hand. Yeah, so you just gotta pull it out and put it somewhere in the.
Nemesis.
Oh my god!
That's the great card for this.
It is.
Dr. Nemesis. Beautiful.
Okay. So yeah. Let me go ahead and pull that card up in the in the gate so everyone can see it. And let me go and actually sorry, let me go over here where the thing is. There it is. Okay, there it is. Okay, that is card number 29. And you see here. Oh, did I draw it down there? There we go. Yes, you have drawn the Doctor. The Nemesis card. The Nemesis card, known as the Doctor. As a reminder, this is a visions card. Its meanings are wisdom, health, dependence upon others, and disease. Doctors help, but it's a help we'd rather not need. No one wants to see a doctor. We only see them if something's gone frighteningly wrong. They have knowledge, perhaps secret knowledge, and an insight few can match. But these are secrets about disease and death. Can one delve so deeply into such topics and not come out affected? The Doctor is the nemesis of the Visions family. This enigmatic, genderless figure is a harbinger of illness and plague, but the possibility of succor or even remedy from the disease they foretell. There is an inherent contradiction to the Doctor, then. They are the hero that we really do not want. In divination, although sinister in appearance and position in its family, the Doctor card can mean good health and wisdom in dealing with the challenges that life can bring. However, there's always an undercurrent of dependence with the turn of this card. It's not the wisdom of the person in question, but the wisdom of someone else. The presage of well-being comes from the intervention of some outside force. Worse, however, sometimes the Doctor suggests not health but illness. And you have drawn this card. This is a Nemesis card, which once again means it's -1 to all actions, -2 to anyone in visions right now. And so we were previously just under the green sun. That's going to go away as it goes as we get this here, and we have that. Let me go ahead and pull that card down to the down to the gold sun spot on our path of suns, and yes, so this is the kind of, you were looking for a nemesis, and here we have one. So let's see. Anti-clown. What is the opposite of a clown? An excellent question.
No, a Greek stoic, maybe?
Something like that. Because, like, so we could go either. Well, we have a couple of options here. We could go happy clown versus sad clown, or we could say that the nemesis of a clown is some sort of thing that causes, just a void of happiness, or in this case, a void of fearful happiness. So in other words, the reverse, right? So yeah. In the circle, what level of creature are you trying to summon here, roughly?
Is it possible to sense or figure out what level this clown is?
Yeah, the clown. You sort of get a sense for it. It's probably about a 7.
Yeah, I believe I can conjure up to a level 7.
I think you can, yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna go by Pokemon rules, and whatever I summon, given that it's the antithesis, would deal at least 1.5 damage. Those terms.
Well,
it'd be super effective in the very least.
Someone in chat has just said Spawn. Spawn is the enemy of clowns. Only in that particular canon, I think, but it's fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching. Side note: I was watching Animaniacs, and apparently Wacko Warner does not like clowns, and there was an entire episode where Wacko, tortured this poor clown.
Oh my god!
Oh.
I don't think I actually saw that episode, but that was some time ago. Was that the new one or the old one?
Old one.
Old one. Okay. All right. Cool. So
it was funny. It was always funny to me because the clown was basically a parody of Jerry Lewis. So you had Wacko Warner demolish
fair.
Jerry Lewis mine.
So I have a picture. A picture has come to mind in my head, actually. And strangely enough, this being looks... Actually, I don't think Mac was there when Vor and Eroshka and Shah interacted with this individual. It looks similar. It is not the same. It's not the same person, but this is someone who looks not unlike an Undertaker. An undead-looking Undertaker. Sort of top hat and cloak just sort of is rising, and from the center of the circle, you see that it looks sort of, again, its flesh is very sort of flesh. It's not real flesh, but it's very just sort of dropping off, and looks, it's almost skeletal, but it raises this clown nose and rolls it around in its hand, looking at it in disgust. And it's just about as, it's sort of looking with the top hat. It's about the same height as the clown, and just sort of looks out at you. And you see the clown immediately is like, oh, God. Sort of seeing, evidently recognizing something about this figure. And it just sort of looks up. Have you brought me to this site of great offense?
Well, normally I wouldn't do such a thing, but Mac is just going to casually pull out his Church of Illuminati card, and it looks kind of like a customer loyalty card. And he's just going to flip it over, and it says VIP. Because you see, Mac has become basically the equivalent of a 5-star Uber driver as a vessel for spirit. And, as a matter of his forte, at level 8, he is now a spirit ally, in which spirit and spiritual entities will see him as an ally and will not attempt to harm him. And it's not an action. And so basically, I'm saying that this Church of Illuminati loyalty card
Church of Illuminati
is basically his recognition of service.
Okay.
Typically, I like to solve my own problems, but I'm in a bit of a hurry, and this literal clown is preventing my associates and I from conducting very serious business.
Just sort of flexes its shoulders and just sort of looks in the and it says, and just sort of looking over at the clown. Still wandering around these parts, just doing just doing the bidding of the highest bidder, eh? Still? And the clown is like, I don't want to talk to you right now. Oh, but I think that it's the perfect time to have a nice, long discussion. It says, drawing this cane from out of his robes. This long cane with a big, sort of club-like head. And
Laura looks down at her own cane and is like,
Upgrade.
And if you do you want to let this spirit out of the circle, or do you want to negotiate something first?
I really, he's just going to mention, so I apologize. I will defer to your professional expertise as to how to dispatch clowns. You may, of course, name your price.
Well, as it's him, and as it's you, I can give you, shall we say, a discount.
He says,
he's gonna punch the card for you.
yeah, he'll punch the
This one's free.
This
we shall have a bit of an object lesson, shall we?
Oh, good. And Mac's actually going to take out his book. It's a little black book to take some notes as he observes this, because he's looking for. He's going to use this spirit as a muse for his final confrontation with the dark-eyed Manfred. So
okay.
Ooh.
So this spirit will basically basically the what he's implying, what he wants is just basically to show you how to deal with a clown. That's it, really.
Oh yeah. Of course.
So if you see the big clown starting, just backs up just a little bit. He's not really showing fear because he doesn't typically do that. But he is perhaps showing a mild amount of concern. And so he's getting into a stance to try to get ready to take this guy. The moment you let him out of the circle, he jabs forth with the cane, keeping the clown at arm's length. And says, well, you have to know the weak spots. And he slaps around the back of the clown's knee, and the clown is like, oh, and then he pokes him in the nose. And there's this very sort of almost sickening sound when he does that. And he puts the the clown, manages to dodge a little bit out of the way, but the two of them are fairly evenly matched. And so they are kind of starting to tussle in this way. The Undertaker will basically raise his hand and sort of tip his hat and draw energy of darkness, just sort of this dark energy of darkness from the clown, and just sort of as he's sort of trying to drive the clown back, because the clown can't get at him because of the cane. And so what you see is the Undertaker starts basically saying, "So the best way to deal with these individuals who think themselves funny is to remove their premise. It's quite simple, really. This one's a red nose. It's easy. He thinks of all the basest and simplest humor. And all you need to defeat that," he says. The clown goes for him, and he just sort of ducks at a certain moment, and the clown goes past and hits a tree, and just sort of steps and just sort of comes back and swacks him in the back of the head, and he says, "It's an intellect! Give them enough rope and they'll hang themselves." And he just sort of raises the cane and has started to beat on the clown. And it looks like this conflict in and of itself. Once he trips the clown up, he says, "Thus endeth the lesson." And they continue fighting. But he apparently has said all he's going to say to you, as they are now like going at it back and forth, rolling over each other and trying to basically get the best of each other at this point. And they're now off the path at this point.
Okay, well, I think that takes care of that for now.
We should keep going.
Yeah. The Venetius will nod. Very good. And he will surge ahead. You will note that basically as you head further down the path, you'll kind of hear the two opponents tussling, tumble into the woods and into the area of mist, and then you can see them no more.
Are they fighting in like that cartoon way where it's just a cloud and all sorts of like emotive symbols?
Ultimately, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that.
You proceed to the amphitheater. So it's kind of an open air thing. It's like a big sort of clamshell looking thing. It's kind of dirty. But you can see that as you get closer, there are some other sort of buildings around here, sort of like they're of slightly more permanent structures, kind of like if someone was building a somewhat more permanent sort of carnival building type things, basically. So they're like the fun houses and things of that nature. But offices, things like that. As you get to this amphitheater, that's in this sort of little park at the center of all this, you see that it's so the stage basically is a 3/4 round. It's a round stage, and you can get people. The audience has seats that go around it 3/4 of the stage, basically. And the area where the shell-like part of the building comes up is where there's a sort of, it's big enough that there's sort of an opening and people can go inside back into a backstage area there. There are several seats that are arrayed around this this amphitheater, and you will notice two beings here. One is on the stage, the other is in the audience. Now, the thing you're probably going to see first is on the stage. This very large, slightly leathery-looking, pulsating brain that's hovering just above the stage near the center. and just sort of slowly spinning and reaching out these sort of leather-like tendrils, whipping every few seconds toward an individual that is in the audience. Now, in the audience, leading down to the audience, there is a ramp from that side of the stage, sort of the middle of the front, as it were, of the stage, leading down. And at the end of this ramp, there is a special kind of chair that is a little elevated over the other chairs that are sitting there in the audience. It is something, shall we say, on the order of a Clockwork Orange, if anyone is familiar with that particular film. But so into this chair, it's basically a big sort of metal chair with straps. And it's set on this, looks like it has wheels. It's set on this track that is at the base of the ramp. It goes this little track that goes from the base of the ramp up onto the stage. He is currently still in the audience, but apparently this chair moves. We're not sure how precisely. But the individual strapped into the chair is Clellan, the proprietor of the Broken Mirror. You'll see as each leathery tendril lashes out and touches the air near Clellan, you'll see another sort of little bit of color drain from him and be pulled aloft along this tendril and into the vermiculated mind, this large brain. The Venacious is preparing to leap forward to get entangled with this creature. But if you have a plan, you may slow him for a moment if you wish to. You may slow them for a moment if you wish to engage the plan. It's up to you. What would you like to do?
So, Vor, this seems more up your alley. Do you have anything particularly nasty that you probably would disrupt such a thing?
Well, I mean, I can attack it, but I don't know. The goal here is to distract it, right? So that we can get Clellan out. There's a possibility I could make it forget about Clellan and whatever it is that it's doing. If we think that would be useful.
Possibly. Oh, I suppose we should at least discuss a plan B if that goes south.
Yeah, I mean, if that goes south, I can try to disrupt its mental patterns, I guess. It's not something I normally try to do to people, but I can make an exception in this case.
Oh, what do you think, Aroshka? I don't suppose you have some sort of device, weapon, or see something around here that might
I can make the literal environment hostile, but I'm not sure how much that matters. The brain, I'm not totally sure physically here. I don't understand how the brain works. But I could do that if it would be helpful.
Worst comes to worst, we just attack it physically, right? I mean, how bad can it be? It's a brain.
Oh, that's a perfect line on which for me to draw a card. This card is going on the invisible sun. I'm going to go ahead and draw the card. Oh, hey.
Wait. Lucky coin?
It is not the lucky coin.
Damn.
I have placed it on the invisible sun, on the path of suns. This is interesting. Okay. So... let me see if I can find this one real quick in our list of things. It is I believe that's... Is that mysteries? I think that's notions. It's notions. Here we go.
Oh, yay!
It is a companion card, a companion of notions. Let me go ahead and pull up this so that we may have it. This is card number 57. This is card number 57. Let me go ahead and pull that up here. It is the card we have pulled is the cat. Its meanings are solitude, curiosity, cleverness, and dexterity. Cats see much, they prowl about, or simply find a good vantage point and watch and sleep. Should something really catch their eye, however, they move to investigate. Curiosity killed the cat, as the saying goes, and it's true, but cats have 9 lives, and thus they can afford a little curiosity. The cat is the companion of the notions family. It watches over them and sometimes even protects them. In divination, one sometimes must act alone to succeed. Curiosity and cleverness can be virtues, but be wary of taking them too far. A challenge may arise that involves both mental and physical dexterity. Interesting. Okay. So, let me see here. As you are, as you say this, you know, you'll immediately hear just sort of this, you start to hear this whispering, and Vor, you're probably going to hear it first. Sort of muttering, whispering, as this brain rotates. What is it? What are these things? What are they? We must know. We must have them. We must have all of them. Don't take too much. Don't take too much. We need it for we must do our job. We must do our job. Yes, yes. Just drain them enough. But who is this? Who are these? One of them looks quite familiar. Quite familiar.
So it's noticed us?
Yes, it has.
Sweet.
Because it is looking around and it's with an intense...
It recognizes one of us?
It recognizes the Venacious, I should say, specifically.
I was like,
Yes, yes.
I don't want to be recognized.
Does it recognize one of you?
All right. So I think in that case,
I will tell you that this thing, you can tell just from the immediate feeling you got when it turned its attention in your direction. This thing is powerful. It probably also has defenses relative to the mind as well. But go ahead.
That does not surprise me, but I think the best idea I have at the moment is to use my idea theft ability. This is where you steal an idea from someone's mind. If you succeed in an action with their level as the challenge, there is no cost, but on a failure, you cannot try again, and they know you tried. On a success, you gain the idea and they lose it. So it was talking about how it has to do its job.
Yes.
I think I'm going to try to take its idea of what its job is.
Interesting.
So that it doesn't know what to do.
So let's see. One tiny thing that I shall need to check on. Let me see if it's in the system reference real quick before I go down the rabbit hole of... Okay, yeah. All right. So you're not trying to damage it, which I guess is kind of the important thing. Okay.
No,
All
I'm
right.
not trying to hurt it.
Yeah.
And I'm not causing it anguish or anything of
Yeah.
that nature. I'm literally just trying to scoop out of its brain its idea of what its job is, so
Okay.
that it doesn't know what it should be doing with Clellan.
So it has resistance. So
Okay.
the difficulty here, the challenge will be 14, not 14, 12. The challenge will be 12
Okay.
for this thing. And you can let me know what things you wish to use as a sort of an asset here.
Yes. So the ability itself is level 7.
Okay, that'll help.
Yeah, so that'll help a good bit. Yeah.
Okay. So that already yanks it down to 5 or better.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really good ability. I have my understanding magic that lies outside codified practices.
Mm-hmm.
This is sort of an inexact science, as it were. That's a level 2 skill.
Yeah, this is definitely outside of codified practices, so that'll knock it down to a 3.
Yeah. And I think I will spend. I'll spend a. I'm trying to decide if a perception bene or an interaction bene is more appropriate here. Maybe a perception bene, because I'm trying
Yeah, you're trying to pick out this memory and pull. Well, let me ask you something. This is. I was going to ask you this in a moment, but I can ask it now because we're deciding which bene. Are you going to look at this idea at all? Are you planning to see this idea? Okay.
No, yeah, Vor's planning to see it.
So that would be perception.
Okay, cool. So a perception bene, which gets me down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'll spend a sortilege bene so I can roll twice.
Stand by. Yeah, this is an ability. So you're adding magic to it so that you can so you can get a second die. Got it. Yes. So yeah, it's so 2 or better on
I have 2 rolls.
And you get 2 on 2d10. And that's basically what we're looking at here. So you got 2 or better on both of those dice.
That was tight.
So as you are reaching forth, and you can tell it's like there's this feedback almost that occurs. This is a thing that sometimes happens when you go up against beings people, either Vizsla or beings who have mental abilities themselves. It's like there's a certain amount of feedback. It's much more intense now because you're literally, this thing is a floating brain. You're trying to steal the idea of its job.
Yes.
Let me just pull up something real quick so that I will have the information in front of me. There it is. The vermiculated mind has been instructed to drain the will, the essence, from beings, to prepare them to be used as vessels.
Vessels for what?
Empty husks. And vessels for what, you say? The vermiculated mind does not necessarily question this as long as they get fed as to what they are being used, the vessels are being used for. All they know is that once they drain these individuals, all they really, well, I'm not going to say all they know, but pertinent to this question, once they, as far as their job is concerned, they drain them and then convey them via the chair up onto the stage and down through the trapdoor in the center.
Okay.
Where they are presumably collected.
Interesting. And do I know who gave it this job? Is that part of the memory that I'm taking? The idea that I'm taking?
You get a vague impression that it was a deal that was brokered. So the person from whom they got the job was negotiating on someone else's behalf. And the individual, as you try to just sort of barely, as you just sort of like mind to mind, there's the sting, there's feedback, and a face appears, and it is the face of Dark-Eyed Manfred.
That's kind of what I expected, but I wanted to confirm.
Yep. The Venacious will take this opportunity, as this being is distracted for a moment, to leap upon it. It's sort of vibrating for a second, and this wine-colored creature, made of all manner of little bits and bobs of stone and cloth, what is the word I'm looking for? Surges forward, half running, half just kind of, because it's not a singular shape per se. It can change its shape. Swarms up onto the stage and attacks this thing. Leaps forth, trying to jab at it, to hit it, to tie up its tendrils. You hear the vermiculated mind once again whispering more loudly, it's you were trapped. I was assured you were trapped.
And I'll look at Aroshka and Mac and say, all right, we've got a small window. Let's get Clellan out of here.
That's not good.
You're muted, Anino.
Oh.
Well, all right. Let's go to my well of tricks. And he draws another summoning circle.
Well, I was gonna say, can I? The chair is an object, right? Can I charm the chair?
Yes.
This is one of my forte abilities. Charm object level 5 +1 die. An object I touch reacts to me well, as a person might react to a friend, and it opens to the is open to the possibility of conversation.
Stand by. Because I want to make sure that I have that correct. Let me go ahead and pull this up here real quick. What's the ability called again?
Charm object.
Charm object?
Yes.
Or charm object.
Charm
All right. It's a level 5 ability. It gives you +1 die. So Person might react to a friend and is open to the possibility of conversation. Okay. So, and it's blue magic. You're in the blue. It's not really going to necessarily affect it that much because right now we don't have a color to the sun. It is. Let me just check. Companion. We are under a companion card. As I'm remembering suddenly. We're under a companion card, which is, again, duplicates the previously played card, so we're still technically under a nemesis right now.
Uh-oh.
This is going to be weird, because is that going to be the case? Because this is on the invisible sun. It's always going to be duplicating that? That's weird. There is a pall over what we do. So let's see. We are currently... Just again so I can see. I believe that was... Notions? Yes, we were on Notions. Okay. Which is Mac and Vor. Okay. Yeah, so you can make your way up to this chair. The chair is itself would have a challenge rating of 6. It's in and of itself. So this ability negates most of that. You'd basically be looking at, if you do a straight roll without adding anything else to it, and any other advantages of any kind, then you'd be just needing a 1 or better on the dice you roll. But if you want to add something to it, then it's, you've got it. So up to you.
I have level 1 persuasion. I basically want to ask the chair nicely if it will let our friend go.
You're going to learn a couple of things in a moment.
I'm going to learn a couple things.
This conversation actually is going to take a moment.
Oh boy.
So, but yes, you can, if you just use your persuasion, then yes, you're going to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
However, we have sort of a weird eternal nemesis thing happening, right now. So, the chair sort of wakes up as you come forward and touch it. And you get this immediate sense, it's like, what are you doing? It says to you. You see Colin struggling. Yeah.
Help my friend here.
Yeah. You know that it is good to see, after so long, the desire to help. Usually there is only the desire to take. Usually. Take and take and take.
Yes.
But this one is my charge. They are to become a part of the machine.
But I don't want him to become part of the machine, because it would make me and my other friends sad.
You're quite sure it is a great honor?
I'm really quite sure, yes.
Can I not? Do you wish to know what he will become part of? And perhaps you will say.
Probably not.
No.
Will you give him to me if I say yes?
Of course. If he is your friend, it
Okay.
should be your choice. He cannot speak for himself at present.
Well, I mean, I think it should be his choice. But sure, for our purposes right now, yes.
Very good. And it's going to display something to you through this connection. One moment. Mac, you said you were summoning something.
Oh yeah. Well, he just created the circle. He's just waiting to see what.
Okay, you want to hold it?
Roscoe
Okay.
does.
All right. No, that's cool. That's cool. Let me know if
I
you at
know
any
the
point wish to
backup,
pull
the
the
backup
trigger.
might be a good idea.
Well, I mean, like his plan was to summon that. Remember that angel chariot thingy that he had summoned
Yeah.
to get around that weird library? Was it the library?
The
Let
one
me
in the
see.
frog?
Let me look at my list of angels. I need to actually make this comprehensive and display it, but at some point. Angels.
With the list of angels we've personally annoyed.
Yes.
It's the same list.
This the Star Angel? I think this is the Star Angel.
I think I have Charulus down as a name.
Charulus, I don't even have that. Good lord.
Because
Let
I
me
know
see.
Flourish was the name of the angel that looked like a very
Oh.
ornate flower vase.
Oh no, Flourish was the labyrinth spirit that you encountered. The one that looks like a vase is Sezenua. But that said,
Time's fast.
it's interesting. It could be true. I only have Star Angel written down. I don't have the name, but it might be Charulus might be the name. I'll look that up at some point when I have time. Cherulis, you think?
Yes, that is
Okay.
what I have down. Yeah.
All right, I'll take a look. So yeah, you can get ready to summon them. But they are they transport you kind of, and transporting you is their transportations. It's like being a comet surrounded by starlight, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, they're the ones that you made friends with. They actually were like, oh, we'll just be friends.
Yeah, that was their price for
Yes, their price.
carrying the party.
Yeah, friendship.
Your friendship. I'm like, oh, okay.
And then I had to remember how friendship worked. So anyway,
I think there was this clip. About
there is a
that,
clip.
too.
There is a clip of that. But yes. So there is a. There's a moment then. If you're holding to see what Eroshka does, Vor, are you also holding to see what Eroshka does, or are you doing something else while Eroshka's having this conversation?
I'm assuming Eroshka can talk it into Eroshka is good at talking to stuff. So
Yeah.
I have every faith in my cousin. I'm mostly, I think, keeping an eye on the Venacious and the Vermiculated mine just to make sure that things don't start going south over there.
Eroshka? You see the operation of the chair. He kind of explains to you the operation of the chair through sort of an image that it gives you. That you kind of, it's like it's holding up a sign, sort of. It's a conversation, but it's like it goes up the ramp and descends in. It's not actually doing this right now, but what you're perceiving. It would go up the ramp, it would descend into the trapdoor, and down into a machine. A big machine you have seen before.
Oh, it's this machine.
The Endless Machine which you kind of already knew stretches into the blue. But perhaps you only suddenly remember that you already knew this. It's a perpetual motion thing. A realm, an idea of perpetual motion that is adjacent to the blue and to the indigo, and in theory, everywhere. But it's your partial memories.
I was gonna.
Of- Mhm.
Oh no, keep going.
Well, your partial memories of the operation of the observatory. You know that that's how you get all the machines to work with each other, all the different devices in the observatory. How you get them to work with each other. The idea of perpetual motion is sort of leached off of the eternal machine, the endless machine.
Stealing their homework.
Yeah, basically. In a way, yes. You almost vaguely remember whose homework you stole for a moment. It was someone you knew. But a couple people maybe. There was like a paper circulating at the time. So the idea is that the chair goes in, it rolls in along the machine, and it deposits these people into one of a number of cages.
So my question was, we were there before, right? Because
Yes. You've seen these cages
foreman was
before, I
there.
think.
But I remember when the foreman was there, he was basically when you're literally the worst person to be here.
Yes, this was a terrible thing for you to be there right now. He did not explain why.
Yeah, do I know? Do I remember? Do I have anything to do with the did I have anything to do with the construction of this machine? Or like just in general, did I have anything to do with the machine? Was I involved with it previously, or was I just stealing their homework?
Would you like to reach back and try to remember?
Yeah, I think I'm like the machine either way, but I am sort of curious if I had anything to do with it.
I'm going to draw a card.
Oh boy.
Actually, if you like, you may draw the card.
Ooh.
And it will go on the silver sun. We're starting a new cycle.
How do I? Oh.
You can really just, when you hover over
I
it,
accidentally
you just
drew
click and
two.
drag. Oh no! But probably the first one.
The first one was Misunderstood Beast.
Okay.
The second one might have been more appropriate because it was the Watcher. But
That's fair. Well,
the first one was the Misunderstood
no,
Beast.
that's true. That's true. I think fate has decreed that it's the Watcher, actually. Never mind. I'm just going to drag that down. Because that is much more appropriate.
I don't know. I thought the idea of a beastly and misunderstood chair is.
I mean, there's that too.
Very...
That's true. That's very fair. That's very fair.
It's a coin flip.
Hey, yeah. I'm gonna do a coin flip. Hang on. I'm gonna roll a D2. It's a 1. It's the Misunderstood Beast. Okay. Watcher is sitting out for now. Or perhaps it's a glimpse of the future. Okay.
Ooh.
Let me go ahead and grab the Misunderstood Beast card here, so that the audience may delight in its visage. Visage.
I don't know.
The Misunderstood Beast. That is card number 47. One day I will get faster with this new system. Misunderstood Beast, there it is. And in the gate, just as a reminder to folks, The misunderstood beast, its meanings are mistakes, gentleness, friendship, danger, and betrayal. The misunderstood beast is a gentle giant, not a murderous monster. It seeks our friendship, not our flesh. Can we see past its physical nature and ascertain its truth? Will we even try? Snap judgments can result in horrific mistakes. We judge something by its appearance or simply by the initial reaction it churns in our heart. But the real truth of a thing can rarely be ascertained so quickly. This misstep can catch us from either direction. We might judge something ugly as evil when it is not, or we might assume someone pleasant is a friend when they are not. Either way, we are harmed or at least lessened as a result. Something in divination, something is not what it seems. This could be a concealed threat that will result in betrayal, or it could be something useful that one is ignoring or even avoiding. The turn of this card warns of such mistakes, but the mistake might have already been made, and the misunderstood beast spells out the results of such a mistake. Often this card suggests that one should look for aid from unexpected corners, but warily. In fact, what it really says is that if someone looks to be a friend, they are not, and those that seem to be a threat likewise are not. This is hard advice to take, and obviously it is not always true, only when this card is turned. So.
Wow.
Yeah, so the Endless Machine is not something you created. It is a universal construct. It is a thing that you studied. And very slowly, this is something that your former self is almost a little bit embarrassed by, because was a little embarrassed by, because there was a time when I would like to imagine when she believed that, and I mean she did early on, she really believed she was doing good for the universe at large, and actually in contracting the construction of the
Observatory.
the observatory, there were people that you wanted to go to. You wanted to go to Shah because you thought Shah understood the machine, which would be necessary to being able to make all the things work, and it also designed several things that you wanted available.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, you ended up with and you also went to you think, what was their name? It's another maker. It's not hugely important, but yeah, I believe it was Barristal. Yeah, fairly well-known maker named Barristal, for help with some of the things. This was as the war was, there was echoes of the war possibly happening, and there was a need for that, you think, maybe. And this is vague because you don't have the direct memories. You've got the space around the memories. So this is more like impressions, feelings that your former self had, and you're kind of constructing logically, you think, out of that what the memory kind of things, at least part of the memory, must be. So you ended up getting Gilda, Shah's working partner at the time. And you think something happened, and it's like a speed bump. You don't remember exactly what it was. Something happened that you weren't entirely happy with the idea that the machine could in any way be corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were using it for good. You were going to save everybody. Because what was coming was too terrible. You can't remember exactly what was coming. They needed a place. They needed to be able to escape and still keep their own minds. You didn't want them to have to all go to the Gray. The thing is that, yes, the machine, ever since something to do with, you think it's had something to do with Gilda's involvement, you're not entirely sure, but some part of the machine, and you can only really affect part of the machine because it's too damn big, was corrupted by... You fear that part of the machine was corrupted. Seeing this now, part of the machine was corrupted by your project. Not you directly, because it was Gilda that did it. She took advantage of you.
I think we'd already gotten that impression from the fact that we learned that Gilda apparently stole a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. But the machine was not meant to be this way. It was not meant to be turned toward a specific evil. It was not meant to be like that. It was meant to just sort of help the actuality flow. Even just as a construct for thought of how it works. To link different places in the actuality. But its purpose, its ability to do that has been misused. Instead of helping people, it's draining people. Not the whole thing, mind you, again, just this part of the machine, but yeah, the bit with the cages.
Bit with the cages.
And you're not sure for what purpose exactly, but it's not good.
I think probably I get a little teary and like sort of gently pat the chair, and probably because no one can hear usually like when I'm talking to objects. I said the conversation, and nobody else saw that, right? It was just me.
Yeah, you're the only one who saw that, unless Vor was deciding to eavesdrop.
So all of a sudden, I just get really like sad and teary, and like gently pat the chair and tell it like it wasn't supposed to be like this.
And the chair thinks for a moment, in ways that chairs only can. And, it says to you, oh, I can see that this troubles you a great deal. Maybe you're right. I'm sorry. I don't think I used to do this way. This was supposed to be fun. And the clasps unlock. And Clellan kind of like is stumbling out of the chair. As the catches are being undone, the chair also incorporated a sort of a thing that was gagging him, and that's come undone. Anything that was holding him back is now undone, and he's like getting up. So, Vor and Mac, you see that Clellan is being released. You can see that, and presumably Eroshka is helping him out of the chair.
Yes.
The Venacious and the Vermiculated Mind are continuing to tumble around the stage, kind of distracting each other. The mind keeps trying to move. It vibrates from time to time. The Vermiculated Mind and the Venacious keep sort of swarming around to the other side and distracting it. It is starting to try to turn and lash out simultaneously, though, as it senses that something is being pulled away from it. As these tendrils are starting to flow a little more widely. And so there is a certain danger here. What would you folks like to do?
I think we should get the heck out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Muted.
You can tell I haven't streamed in a while. Oh, yeah. And, well, this is the fastest way I know. And he's gonna summon Chirulas.
All right.
Ready.
Your friend, the Star Angel, appears. As once again, a kind of a description here. What I have. What I wrote down for the Star Angel. Tall, thin, narrow head, pointy shoulders, midnight blue skin, glistening, wings like a robe of starlight, fingers with an additional joint. Doesn't speak as such, but has laughter like chimes lightly ringing. And it sort of hovers there, these points of light, forming its... it has skin, it's got, and it they smile, and they spread their arms. Its starry robe spreading out as though to come forward. It's going to try to hug you. Do you want to let it hug you?
I mean, that is the price that we pay for free transportation.
One hug.
One hug.
It is a little bit like being hugged by a small constellation of stars.
Ooh, tingly.
Yeah, a little very sort of tingly. It's a little sort of, it's like you can almost hear chimes as this is happening. You can see it sort of looking at you quizzically. You can see them looking at you quizzically.
Oh, we need to get out of here. It's a little bit on the dangerous side, and our associate here, as he points to McClellan, isn't in much of a condition to run.
All right. Do you? And it asks, and it just opens its hands and spreads its arms as though to be like, where would you like to go?
I think Aroshka's theater should work.
Nods. I do have one. There is one tiny thing I just want to remind you of before we do this. And you had said last time you were interested in visiting the Church of Illuminism. Do you still want to do that here, or do you want to continue to just go to Aroshka's theater? I'm good either way. I just want to know.
Yeah, no, actually, let's take a swing, a quick detour around there.
It'll nod, and it will spread its arms. It will spread their arms and prepare it sort of there's this sort of star chariot that appears to sort of leap out from the robe behind it. Or is it the robe as well? It's hard to say. For you all to board.
Before we go, Vor will send a message mind to mind to the Venetius, basically just saying, hey, we've got him, get out of here.
And very briefly you hear back, I thank you. And they continue to fight for while you're there. So it understands. Y'all get aboard?
Yeah.
Okay. The angel lifts up, traveling as I believe I also wrote this down. Transporting with this angel is a bit like being a comet surrounded by starlight. as the sides of it, you go screaming up above the forest, silvery flames to either side of this chariot that this cloak has become. You see flying up ahead of it, this angel smiling. You can just sort of, because occasionally it'll look back and smile at you. To get to the light side, to the day side of blue, let me see if I have this map here. As you'll probably be able to perceive this in a moment. That's a background thing for the blue, which I didn't show you before, but I can show you now if you want to see it. These were sort of the mists that you were seeing, which I'm not going to worry about showing that right now. I did not scan the blue map. Okay, that's okay. Let me reopen the book that has it so that I'll... The Enchiridion! It's in the Enchiridion of the path. The Realm of the Blue. I've got it on that page already. You have a choice. There are 3 main ways to get up from Nightside to from the Nightside to the up to the Blue Expanse up on the day side. They're probably going to take you through the Deeps of Sleep, as that's going to be easiest. The other 2 are like the Serpentines and the Sea of Nothing. So you plunge into these, headlong into these clouds, into this shifting blueness. Let me pull open this information as there are rumors that the Deeps of Sleep are connected to the Noosphere in some way. But, let us see. The Deeps of Sleep. I'm going to draw another card to see kind of how this works. Well, actually, I think our next card is the Watcher.
Oops.
It is preordained. This is a Sovereign card. We were on the Green Sun. I should have reactivated that. Too late! Sovereign card is +1 to all actions. +2 if the heart matches the family, which we'll address in a sec. This is the Watcher. Let me pull that up here. Oh, I've got the page. There it is. Let me pull that up over here. Watcher. There it is. That is card number 45. Let me grab it. And Eternal Brunch. Yeah. Some might dream of Eternal Brunch. Let's see. Watcher. There's the Watcher. It's a mysteries card. Its meanings are parental figure, sight, alertness, observation, knowledge. Okay, that tells me what I needed to know. The wisdom that comes from taking the time to observe and contemplate before acting cannot be overstated. The Watcher watches. He observes from afar, assisting and contemplating. He records what he sees and analyzes the data. He remains ever vigilant from his vantage point. Nothing slips by his eternal gaze. The sovereign of mysteries, the Watcher, is a father figure, shares his knowledge with those close to him and advises those he deems worthy. In divination, the Watcher card indicates that one must pay close attention. Often the next card turn suggests exactly what they should pay attention to, but other times it is more general guidelines. Stay alert! The Watcher presages the involvement of a parent or parental figure, particularly in the context of imparting wisdom or knowledge. It is often considered a positive card for this reason. So, you're going to encounter a being as you are going up through the deeps of sleep. They will see you, but you're not in trouble for trying to skirt around them. This being, let me see if I can grab the relevant chapter really quickly, where they are featured a bit more. Let's see. Is it 6? Is it 7? I think it could be 7. No, it's not 7. Is it 8?
No. What is it?
I shall find it. There it is. All right. When passing into the day side of blue, you must deal with the warden of the day side. The warden, Mara. Mara's, as you go through, you feel there's sort of this that the angel is trying to swerve a bit as you go through these half images come to you through the deeps of sleep, things floating by as they were before. But the mist clears and the angel sort of stumbles down a little bit. It's a little shaky, but not too shaky, as it pulls into this room. It's a chamber with a high ceiling. The walls are faintly blue, but otherwise appear to be soft, smooth stone, with exits leading off in all directions, including up and down. Sort of an ever-shifting maze. And in the middle of the chamber, it's a brilliant blue archway. Next to it is a large, comfortable-looking chaise lounge, upon which reclines a woman in diaphanous clothing. She appears almost asleep. And next to her is another woman with light blue skin and hair. Not too, looking kind of slightly similar to the angel, in fact. And the hair pours down over this standing woman like thick dark blue paint, which disappears when it hits the floor. She holds a finger to her lips as you enter. And Mac, you recognize this individual is a spirit. It's a spirit of thoughts and dreams, you think. So the chariot has to stop there for a moment. This is actually going to be a sort of a mirror of what this is kind of. The weird thing is this room looks kind of similar to the one with Nimragul, but it's largely empty, and there's you still have a chaise lounge, but it's is it the same one or is it a different one? It's hard to tell. And so the spirit is just sort of holds quiet to their lips and looks forward expectantly. Just sort of waves at you to approach.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's much of a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you keeping quiet as it's asking, or are you not keeping quiet? I think is a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So sort of seeing that, she beckons you over, and you hear Mara's voice coming from this figure, coming from her sleeping figure. What is your greatest fear?
Oh, this question again.
Yeah, didn't we do this already?
You wish to offer up a fear, I shall take it. I'll take it from you. You must not proceed with fear.
Don't have to offer up a fear. This is optional.
Yes, actually, in this case, because if you ask that, then the spirit standing will sort of look over at the angel waves, and so it just sort of looks back to Mara, looks at you, nods.
Then in that case, I'll decline.
Spirit nods. And the spirit will look to Aroshka.
Good. Did this already today.
Nod. Spirit will look at Mac.
Oh, Mac is just gonna pull out a sketch of Dark-Eyed Manfred. I mean,
To make him disappear.
You wish this
bonus points if you make this guy disappear.
You wish this fear removed. You hear again from the chaise lounge.
Absolutely.
Now keep in mind, Manfred is not being removed, but your fear of Manfred, on the other hand, sort of slowly draws it out of you. It's kind of like a weight being lifted as you feel this sort of just this breeze comes through. You're not going to lose any memories. You now can face it bravely, not necessarily foolishly.
I think facing our fear foolishly is pretty much the plan.
Well, I mean, yeah. Up to you if you want to face it foolishly. But yes, it's like it's kind of like, oh man, yep. Okay, here we go. A ghost of a memory passes through your mind as you release that memory, release that fear. Mac, you got the better of him. You're vaguely remembering sort of a turnabout that happened. You think he was not always as effective as he is now. Because early on, you can't remember how early on, but you think, and the specifics are still not quite there, you turned someone close to him, basically, against him. Not maliciously, it's just that they liked you better, you discovered.
Interesting.
And you think that is why you think that's why he hates you. knowing that it's just that kind of a grudge, I think, gives you a little more solace, probably. I'm guessing, with respect to the fear of him.
Can work with this. Yeah, no, we can do this.
Yeah. And you think it's somebody you should know. Or at least you knew. Back when you were your former self, back, before the war.
Sure.
Someone you think you knew pretty well. Whether you wish to connect that up with other things that you've heard is up to you.
Well, that's a future me problem.
That's a future you problem, yes.
which is our common.
Yeah.
Which is our mantra.
Unfortunately, for future us.
Yes, that's a problem for our future selves. But yes, this is drawn from you. And you hear, may it bring you solace. And the spirit sort of bows to the three of you. And just sort of nods back at the angel, waves at the angel waves back. Just sort of indicates with a gesture that you may go on your way.
After all the things that we've had to pay in order to get our way, I feel pretty good about the blue. This was relatively inexpensive for us.
Seems pretty chill overall.
Yeah.
You return to the angel. The angel will continue to convey you. The angel rolls out through one of the exits and plunges back into this shifting mist. Actually, the angel goes through the big blue archway. That's the easiest way out.
Well, okay then.
So, the big blue archway. And I wish I had. Maybe next time I'll share this. I wish I had copied this ahead of time. For some reason, I thought I had. Let's see. The blue gate is kind of at the northern end of the northwest end of the blue expanse. This great big, it's full of sky. You're in a realm full of sky. Sky below you, sky above you, sky around you, blue sky. And every now and then, mist and clouds that you can pass through and come upon hunks of land that are either hovering there or that just are there as you proceed. And you're on this side of the blue now, so you actually, Mac, can navigate somewhat because you have that sort of homing beacon. You're a pin that can show you that points compass light toward the Church of Illuminism, towards that cathedral. And so you find yourselves passing over an island full of brambles and a sort of an old castle-like thing, and it's not too far from another sort of larger island that has, as you've flown south, you think, across the blue expanse. And you find that there's a thing not unlike a sort of a town-looking thing down below you. There's like sort of glass buildings on it. Buildings mostly made of glass. You swoop down closer. One of the buildings actually looks kind of familiar. It looks a lot like the... You're kind of on the south end of the blue now. It's kind of like that menagerie. Looks a lot like that menagerie that you folks went into a long time ago. Where you met Murder. Or where you saw Murder. Well, where Shantano met Murder. Had a section dedicated to different deaths. But just a bit of a ways from that, on kind of another island that's just barely connected by a couple of bridges, you see a cathedral. I shall now draw another card. Ah, you're under the invisible sun now. Interesting. This is interesting. But it's on the blue sun. This is an invisible sun card. On the blue sun. This is interesting. Okay. We still have the pall of a little bit of well, it's a I'm going to interpret the fact that we've got a companion card on the invisible sun as just basically indicating that the things carry over from the previous sun a little bit longer. They linger. So we still have a sovereign kind of lingering that's giving us a little bit of a boost. But the sun we're under is currently invisible. As we hit once again the blue sun on the path of suns. And we have hit a Notions card. This is, let's see, which card number is this? Notions. There it is. This is card number 53. Number 53. And it is the Tyrannical Clock. Not an awesome card, but still one that we'll see what it does for us here. Let's see. The Tyrannical Clock. Its meanings are oppression, time, countdown, schedule, repetition. We live and die quite literally by time. It rules our actions, for we have no actions without it. We struggle to accomplish what we must by a certain time, or we face grim consequences. We eat, sleep, and even breathe, measured by the movements of the clock. It is our master, it is our enemy. In divination, the pressures of time affect one's goals. Not only must one succeed, it must be done by a certain cutoff time. The tyrannical clock suggests some extraneous oppressive force that compels us with threat of pain or even death. The compulsion is to keep moving, and to do so on a schedule. It might involve repetition or simply a deadline, depending on the circumstances. This card turn isn't automatically negative. One can still succeed, but the requirements become harsher, and the challenges greater. So, yes, we could just go there. We could do it. So, you've never seen the cathedral directly before. You've only dealt with the agents of the Church of Illuminism in Saturnine. But as you sort of settle, you see that as the angel comes down to bring you to the entrance, it's like a big building made of stained glass. Of many colors, heavily blue, lots of blue, but some of the glass looks like it's in disrepair, some of it looks like it's been shattered. This cathedral looks fairly old. It has seen the march of time. There are, at this cathedral, you will see sort of near the entrance, someone steps out. Let's see. Do I have anyone I wish to use, or shall I conjure someone? No, not you. Maybe you. Yes, actually, this could be fun. Let me check something. This is in 11. Let me open that one up. This will make sense momentarily.
Sure.
You see, what was their name? What would they be doing here, I think, is the only question. Yes. There is a... So you see that there are a couple of priests walking back and forth, but it's not only priests here. There is, it seems, that there is sort of a little tent set up. Not a tent, it's the... You know the term for this? It's like you put it on poles and it's just got the tarp over the top of it. I can't remember the term for this. You know what I'm talking about? You have like four metal poles, and then you have this sort of canvas tarp on top of it, stretched between them, in a tent-like fashion, but it doesn't come down. It's just the top. Awning. It's like an awning, only not connected to a building. Anyway. A lot of them are... you see them at funerals, but you also see them at parties and things like that. People are wanting to be outdoors, but they don't want to be rained on. It's like an awning. As you sort of settle down, you see someone is sitting having tea just outside with a couple of people. One of them is a priest. The priests are dressed in blue robes.
Canopy. It's a canopy.
Canopy, yes. Excellent.
We throw so many parties. That's why we know.
Yeah. So beneath the canopy is a is sort of you see a couple of other folks just sort of sitting there hanging out. They're having tea. One of them is familiar. It looks familiar to at least Mac and Vor. she's wearing sort of a broad hat, and wearing this multicolored coat. The thing being that you think you might have even known this person before the war, but you have seen them since. You have seen them since you came back. They were at the party initially. This is not someone I mentioned before, but this is someone that I'm going to say you remember now having seen at the party. So it's a strange relationship because, for one thing, Mac, you know, she's a goetic. And she doesn't behave like a lot of other goetics. She's very much sort of a life of the party type.
What is Mac?
This is true. This is very true. She's actually, well, I mean, that's the thing. There are a lot of goetics you've met who are much more dour, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And so, I mean, neither you nor she are like them. And so she's a bit of a gossip. Vor knows her because this is like almost, it's up to you to tell me if this is like a rival of some kind, but this is as far as being the person who knows everyone, because this is someone else who knows everybody, basically. And she was not at the party when you were last there. She didn't get trapped with everyone. But she is sitting out there for some reason. Her name is Leanne. Leanne Founder. I will spell it for you. And so it's up to you to decide if you have a positive or a negative relationship with this person. But regardless of which, she recognizes the two of you, at least two of you. Don't know whether she recognizes Aroshka or not. Maybe she does. Maybe she doesn't. You see that she has a fan. She waves with it as you approach. And the angel sets down in front of the cathedral. And the chariot part will melt away, return to the robe. The angel will stand up once again to its full height and smile. And we'll pat you on the shoulder, Mac, and nod, and we'll sort of look around for a moment, and then start wandering off unless someone wants to do anything with it.
Take care. See you soon.
And it just sort of waves, and you hear this tinkling sound of chimes once again, and it sort of
Thank you.
backs up into the sky and just sort of and takes off like a comet.
What are we doing here, Mac?
I just felt compelled to visit the home office while we were here, and I think that if we were to get followed, by that crazy nutty brain, at least stopping here would be a fair deterrent.
So Leanne is actually getting up and stepping forward, and she's looking at you. She's got her arms crossed as she's stepping closer. fancy meeting you all here.
Yeah, we just thought that we'd stop in at the home office and, perhaps inquire about
Really?
some brunch spots before we head back home.
Ah, well, yes, there's some ones that are rather decent over from what I've seen, over yonder. Been chatting with the folks, but I've been chatting a bit with the priests and all here, and just sort of looking to see if this is for me, you know. I remember I think hearing you talk about it at the party a little while ago, and thought I might want to check it out.
Well, I'm all about multitasking and my rather narrow set of skills in multiple ways.
Sort of smiles, and she will say, "Yeah, I think they were." And she sort of looks back in the direction of the priest that was sitting and chatting, and the and that priest sort of sees that, and just sort of she stands up and starts approaching. Yes, Torinia was actually just talking about you. She said you might know someone here. And
I would hope so, because I work for this church.
of course. Well, she said it was something specific, didn't you? And Torinia, this priest, whom you've seen before, in Saturnine, kind of comes forward, and we'll look at you. We'll just sort of glance at, look at you all, and sort of be like, Mac, how good to see you here.
Well, we were just in the neighborhood.
Had you heard? You heard then? Oh, you were just in the neighborhood? You mean you didn't hear?
No.
Huh.
I guess I'm about to.
Probably. Oh, I'm so sorry. And she turns to, and she will offer her hand to Aroshka and Vor. Torinia.
Vor, a friend of Max.
Aroshka, same.
And Leanne is just sort of, wasn't it someone of rather, and she just sort of lean in toward Mac. Someone of particular concern to you is here, apparently. Sort of smiles, and Torinia's just sort of looking around, just like, oh, we can't be completely sure. That is the thing. It is remembering from before the war is sometimes difficult, as we all know. I would think.
Are we talking mortal enemies?
And Leanne is like, sort of bursts out into this little laugh. Maybe. Oh, I will. And you see that Torinia now gives her just sort of an icy look, and Leanne is like, all right, I shall retreat from this. This is clearly something you need to work out. And she will sort of step further away and sort of look. Nice to see you, Vormera. And she will lift up a champagne flute that looks very much like yours, except it's got sort of this. It's rimmed and got this sort of gold-looking little rim around the top.
I will fish mine out to raise it back.
And she will just sort of lean forward, and she'll, if you'll permit it, she will clink glasses with you. And
Absolutely.
there's this sort of chime sounds, and hers fills up with, looks like a slightly different type of champagne, but it's, the sparkles in the champagne are actually like almost magically sparkling.
Ooh.
And in a harmonic fashion. You can almost hear, you know, when you drink champagne, you can feel this vibration. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean from like the bubbles?
A little bit. It's actually kind of that, yes. Maybe it's just me. When you drink champagne, you can feel for a moment like you're vibrating. I don't know if that's just unique to my champagne experience.
It might be unique to your champagne experience.
Ah, darn it.
But that's okay. Everyone's champagne experience is different.
What I want to communicate is that you can hear this vibration coming from the glass, from her glass. And so she will sip. And Terenia will just sort of look over at Mac and says, perhaps we should go in and talk just a little bit.
I mean, I suppose. Is there going to be drama? Because I feel like we've had a lot of drama today.
I don't know.
That sounds very ominous.
There's someone who's been... And she just sort of will look at Vor and Aroshka and then look back to Mac as sort of questioning you, sort of the, is it okay if I talk about this in front of them type deal.
I feel like we don't really have very many secrets between us anymore. If we are, I mean, I suppose I've laughed at all of your secrets very much over the past few travels that, frankly, I'm probably due up next.
I mean, I don't personally feel like we have that many secrets from each other at this point.
Yeah, no.
Fair.
I feel like if this was a television show, you would just see a flashback or like a very quick montage of all the crazy things that we've all discovered about each other.
All the revelations we've had over the course of this game. Wait, you did what?
Yes. So... We'll sort of so she will bring if you wish to go with her, she will bring the three of you inside. Inside, it is again like being inside a stained glass window. Somewhat.
Yes.
The different rooms. As light sort of filters in, and it's blue light filtering in from a blue sun, so it's a little weird. As you get these weird grays in some areas. There are a number of chambers in here. There is stone and metal also in this building. As you open it, and it looks like a large cathedral, sort of a basilica type thing, but there are side rooms. And she takes the three of you, and you see people just sort of... There's more open space, not a lot of pews per se. There are some-ish. It's not like there's an altar specifically, except to sort of a work area where they presumably do a lot of their focusing. She's going to take the three of you into a side room. As you are here. And, She says, "There is someone who seemed here whom I recognized. Whom I know who came here a little while ago seeking to learn a technique that we held. Some of us seem to remember her having been here before, prior to the war, at the same time as you. You came through before the war at some point here. We can't remember exactly when or how. It's a bit foggy. But I thought perhaps you might be able to shed light on this person. Because I vaguely remembered you're having some sort of connection to her, but I don't know what it was. But she came here seeking some knowledge about reaching far out to allow something to, or parts of a spirit to, or of some kind to inhabit her being so that she might make use of its qualities. And we suspect she might have gone too far. We weren't sure exactly where she was reaching, but it's not... We're a little concerned. And she's not recovered yet. But if you would just take a look, perhaps you can help. They take you into this side room where there's a bed. You have some more stone walls here, so a little further deeper down into the. You went down some steps, so you're under the ground of the floating island. So the walls are made of stone. There's sort of a number of symbols scrawled on the walls. There's a thing that's like a summoning circle, but it's not a goetic summoning circle. Or several attempts at one on the floor, and you see that lying on this bed, currently asleep, is a woman. She has chalk white flesh and hair. She's wearing a sort of a white white sort of work robe type deal, and trousers. And so there are a couple of things here that are going to happen. And when I say happen, this is more just a thought this is more of a, there's this sense of time catching up, Mac, for you as you are looking at this individual. You know this person from somewhere, and you feel as though she is important. You feel as though you know this person, and you know that you think you probably knew them very well, but it was before the war. Before I say the next thing, I just want to ask briefly, Aroshka, is there anything you are doing right now, or... Aroshka, I will tell you a couple of things. Some of the bricks in the walls that have these drawings scrawled on them, quite recently, are kind of screaming a little bit, quietly screaming. and suffering. And you hear this almost hissing from the spot on the floor where that summoning symbol is. Something very ominous. There's pain inherent in these symbols, but that have been scrawled upon them. They've been made in pain and done in pain, and some of them you think are in blood. Vor, for a moment, you see Nimrigul standing next to this woman. And he's like, sort of gestures and is like, he's on the opposite side of her, and just sort of gestures around, looks at you significantly, pointing to his side of the bed.
I will go to that side of the bed.
You walk around. Now that you have seen her from this side, and it's nothing unusual. She doesn't have a huge scar necessarily or anything. A little bit of one. A little sort of scar next to her eye. And you can see you've seen her entire face.
Mm-hmm.
You also have met this person. As the mists start rolling back again. And you realize who this is. You've actually remembered her quite recently. As more dominoes click into place. This is Viara. This was Mac's girlfriend.
That's was.
And I think this is a good spot for us to break for the night. If we are good with that. Does anyone have anything else they wanted to get in before we break for the evening?
So Mac doesn't know that fact yet, does he? I think he knows the name was mentioned at some point, but
you've heard the name.
Heard the
but
name.
No one said the name in this room. But yeah, it's up to you if you want to connect that. But yeah, you've heard enough things to kind of start connecting the pieces up.
Vor will tell Mac. I mean, Vor's not going to keep that a secret from them.
Just right out, just gonna say, "Oh, hey, Mac, this is your girlfriend."
No, I think the way she would do it, I think she wouldn't say it out loud. I think you'd feel Vor. So Vor tries not to get in the heads of people that she cares about, unless there's a good reason. But I think, Mac, you would feel Vor's kind of presence at the back of your head, and then she will share like the flash that she has that she used to identify Viara, and then you just hear her voice in your head saying, "This is Viara. I think she was your girlfriend."
I think at the end you're just gonna cut out to outside of the Church of the Illuminism, and then you're just gonna hear Mac just yell, "What?"
Excellent. All right. Well, we have proceeded further, and we shall see where this leads as we are proceeding to as we are going ahead. Things are afoot. Things are happening. Things are in motion, and the edge grows ever nearer. So let us go ahead and go around, and first off, we'll do our joy and despair. So starting once again, we're going to this time we are going to start once with Aroshka with Arras. Do you think that Aroshka got any joy or despair today?
I think Aroshka probably got despair because although, like, the whole revelation about the machine, even though Aroshka wasn't the one who did it, she feels like she's responsible because she was the one who allowed what's her face into the project. Yeah. And
Gilda, yeah.
She let Gilda in, and it wouldn't have happened if she hadn't done that. So I think despair.
Despair it is. Despair it is. And now over to Mac. Do we think Mac got any joy or any despair today?
I think his full goetic skill has been on full display today. So I think he's going to get a joy out of this.
All right. Ever more joy. Joy. You got a joy. And Danielle, do we think that Vor got any joy or despair today?
I don't know that it was a particularly joyous day, but I am going to take a joy from this session because it went better than the last couple sessions have for Vor, and baby steps. And also she did get to face up against this literal brain entity and came out on top. So I think that's a small victory in her book.
Absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. So joy for you. And now we shall go around and do our outro. One thing I will say, just mention, for the sake of continuity, Clellan is still with you.
We didn't
introduce.
We didn't bother to introduce Clellan to the.
Clellan is outside having tea right now with Leanne. So that's so that sort of deposited him there. Clellan is slowly being able. Clellan apparently has been to the day side of blue before because he didn't have to go through the worst fear thing. But he's sort of recovering with Leanne getting his ear talked off. They apparently know each other. So he's just you left him out sitting out there, sort of talking. He did make mention briefly that he'll have something for you when you get back when you get back to Saturnine. But I just wanted to mention that before I forgot. Or it was one of those quiet attached NPCs that sometimes this happens with. But in any case, we're going to go ahead and go around, do our outros. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you, plug anything you like, and any final thoughts you had about this session, and favorite bits or whatnot. And we shall start as we go once again in reverse order with Danielle.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle. You can catch me on Twitter at Raconteur. Also, my Instagram is up there if you are into cosplay things. That's where I maintain all my cosplay stuff. Twitter is currently private, but probably will be public again here in like another month or so. And you can always request, and I generally let people in. And I'm not currently streaming anywhere else at the moment, but Dragon Con's coming up in a month. So if you too are going to Dragon Con, that's awesome. Say hi. I see Arras is also pumped.
Awesome. Do you have any final thoughts about the session?
That went much better than I thought it was gonna go. So I'm pleased actually that we were able to kind of just kick the clown and the brain's faces in and grab Clellan and leave. That
it usually doesn't go that well for us.
No, it doesn't usually go that well. So I was kind of like, really? We're getting out of this that easy?
In both cases, you had exactly the right people helping you, so I think that helped a lot.
Yeah. It was good.
Cool. And now we will head over to Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. Also under Anino4K on Instagram. This is the only place you can find me right now. But yeah. If you like gaming or whatnot, feel free to reach out to me on either of those two platforms. I'm sure we'll get around to doing some more content someday, somehow, somewhere. Or not.
Yeah, there you go. There was Video Gamery not too long ago. I'm sure things will happen.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Being an adult is weird.
It is. It really is. Did you have any final thoughts on the session?
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned, I felt like we all rolled well today. It just feels weird that nothing got thrown out of whack. Usually things go up in some strange fashion. I mean, just like our Yestervale's brunch scene, for instance, that completely disappeared.
Yeah, there's most of the card turns and most of the rolls all went pretty well, and most of the card turns worked even the bad cards were exactly what you needed at the time. So that went pretty well.
So I am good with that.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. All right, and finally over to Arras.
Hello, I'm Arras. I'm Animus Panthera, or Animus.Panthera, practically everywhere on the internet, but mostly Twitter. I am a real-life zoologist and a cosplayer, and I'm a tabletop gamer, obviously, and I love to talk about all those things on the internet. So feel free to come over and chat. The only place you can find me gaming on the internet right now is here playing Visible Sun. I also am going to Dragon Con next month. I'm actually a guest at Dragon Con, so I'll be in a bunch of panels with the science track. So if you're there, come. It'll be and I'm going to be in the Friday night costume contest, so wish me luck. I'm currently crunching.
You're in the FNCC?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So am I.
Yeah. Wish us both luck.
Yeah. Woo.
Maybe one of us will win. Maybe both of us will win something. Imagine that in your brain. Okay. Anyways, I think that's all I've got right now. I have like many many irons, many fires. How does that saying go? But nothing like currently actively happening.
Cool. Any final thoughts on the session?
I too was impressed at how well that went. Like, I was really surprised. I was like expecting there to be some huge conflict, like especially with the clown and everything, and then it was just like, oh, cool. Moving on.
Yeah.
Go
You're all incredibly clever. It worked out very well. Very cool. Awesome. Well, I'm sure things might... Well, you never know. Things might turn soon, but we'll see how it goes.
Thanks for those encouraging words.
No, it did very well. All right. Well, who am I? I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc, both on Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. We do this on Saturday nights, typically when we can. Then that's the only regular stream happening right now, but that's going to change soon. Let's see. We do have a one-shot coming up in early August, Sunday, August 7th. Pope will be in running a one-shot of the Alien RPG, a scenario called What Lies in Darkness, I believe. And so very much looking forward to that. And then hopefully sometime next month, we're still hashing out the schedule, but sometime next month we'll be starting up our short campaign of Cult Divinity Lost. That's going to be run by Hollow, who's been on the channel a few times before, and very much looking forward to that. Never played either of those games before, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what those are like. We do have signups running right now for a one-shot I'm going to be hosting in late August. That is it's a game I've had on the channel once before. It's called A Penny for My Thoughts. It's a story game, GM-less, about folks who are amnesiacs trying to help each other remember things. I seem to like this theme for whatever reason. But did it on the channel a few years ago. Figured it was time to try to trot it back out again. So it's like patients passively reading each other's minds and trying to help them remember things, offer them choices, and that helps build the story. And so we'll see how that goes. Signups are still open for that currently until August 3rd, so Wednesday. So if you're interested in signing up for that, you can go click down below on RPG sign up, or go to jimyesthatjim.com and click on game sign up. Beginners are welcome. So when we hit the end card, I'm going to send a raid over to, let's see, I think I'm going to send a raid over to Praxagora Thesmophoria. They're starting a new campaign that they've been talking about for quite a while. Prax has been talking about this, working on it on her channel for a ridiculous amount of time, building this homebrewed world. And they're starting out their campaign now with some one-on-one things. Right now, she's there with Lynn, who's also been on the channel before, talking about their character introduction. So we're going to go ahead and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.